What's up? What's up, hoop heads? It's your boy JB here with Undrafted Hoops. Um, got some things I want to talk about tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about Game Three of the NBA Finals and some of the performances that we got to witness. But before I do that, I want to mention the Hardcore Sports Network on YouTube. They've been great to us so far. We're still relatively new with them, but I got to give a shout out. Make sure you subscribe to them. They got a lot of great content, not just us, and they cover every sport. So it's not just basketball. I also want to mention Facebook. That's where we got our start. We've been pushing NBA content on there for like 4 or 5 years now, every day too. We try to keep the narrative nice and light. We're not here to bash dudes. We're here to celebrate the game and talk about why we enjoy it every night. Our motto at Undrafted Hoops is to change the narrative surrounding the NBA brick by brick. We're also on Twitter now, Undrafted Hoops underscore, and we're also on YouTube, obviously. Relatively new to that too, but we're going to push content between now and the end of the season. The end of through the off season and then the beginning of next season, we're going to push content, bang, bang, bang. But I don't do it alone. My man Josh Isles behind the scenes. Got to get that handsome fucker on camera with me. I can't do the show without my boy. I got to bring him on. He's waiting in the studio. There he is. The man, the myth, the Sasquatch, Tony G, in the building.
What is
What's up, bro? Nice chill night, right?
Yeah, definitely. NBA Finals. Gotta love it.
So we're fresh. We're fresh off of Game Three. I'm sure everybody knows by now. Denver Nuggets take the lead 2-1 behind two iconic NBA Finals performances from Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Before I get into how many first or records they broke yesterday, tell me what you've seen. Nuggets win by 15. They held a double digit lead for most of the last three quarters. Give me a quick breakdown of what you've seen from them in Game Three, or what you didn't see out of the Miami Heat.
I've seen a lot of aggression, and it was out the gate. A lot of two-man game with Murray and Jokic. Just also, I liked Malone. He played him 44 and 45 minutes, which I think that's what you're going to have to do. You can't keep those guys off the court. You only need to win two more games. They can play 40-some minutes. Go ahead and do that. So they did everything right. Christian Brown was incredible off the bench too. But obviously, when both your stars have 30-point triple doubles, you're probably going to win. But I will say one thing: this is the first time I've seen like Jimmy slacking a few times on defense. I think the Nuggets finally. It's the first time we've seen him frustrated in the playoffs. Yes, he scored 28 points, but there was times he just seemed a little out of it, which we haven't seen Jimmy out of a basketball game in months now. So,
yeah, for sure. It seemed like the mountain. It felt like it was too high for him to climb that entire game. It seemed like every time Miami tried to step on the gas, Denver just never stopped, right?
Yeah, Denver never stopped, and then the Heat couldn't string together multiple threes, and they really did a good job of defending the 3-point line and just say, okay, Bam, you want to try to score from 20 feet away or try to drive into Jokic, we're going to live with that. Keep trying it, and we'll live with the percentages. And
I don't think
good strat.
No, go ahead, Tom.
For Game 3. No, I was just saying it's a good strat for Game 3, but Game 4. Go ahead.
it's kind of what the Nuggets did in the first game. They let Bam, like you said, they let Bam take 20 shots. I mean, you can live with that because he's not stretching the floor. It's all in the paint, and it takes away their biggest asset, which is their perimeter shooters. You mentioned Braun. Is that the first minutes that he's seen in the series?
Nah, he played actually really well in game 2 in the first half. And then, like, one possession didn't go right. And he kind of got yanked early in the second half.
The one play that stood out to me was when, I mean, you've obviously seen it on some of the highlights, is when he took that layup in the third quarter. It might have been the fourth, but he went right into Jimmy's chest, grown man shit, and let Jimmy know, like, yo, you're the vet, you're the superstar, but I ain't afraid of you. I'm taking it right in the center of your chest. And kind of like, it was like a punch in the mouth, I thought, from Denver. I just think that with them guys, Murray and Jokic playing, like you said, in the 40-minute range, they're enough of a 1-2 punch to like neutralize the Miami Heat. Because, like you said, they're both efficient scorers. I think they both shot over 50% for the game. 12 for 21, 12 for 22. They're not shooting high volume, but they're shooting efficient shots. Like you said, they're the first pair of teammates to have a triple-double, 30-point triple-double in the finals. And they're the second set of teammates to have a triple-double in the finals, joining Steph Curry and Draymond Green. I just think that we're at a point in the series, we're 3 games in, we can start to draw the series out. Like, with me saying this, I'm not saying the Heat can't win, but I'm saying that I think Malone's strat, like you said, is to just take away their threes. Like, defend the threes, let them bring the paint because they got some big bodies down there. Jokic and Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is my guy, bro. Like, he ain't filling stat sheets. Like, he ain't loading them up. But he does exactly what is needed for that team on both sides of the ball, right?
Yeah, he's he doesn't need the ball on offense, but he gets it about 10 times a game, makes over 50% of his shots, and then he's helped defense. He's all over the place. He can switch on multiple people, and like you said, around the rim. They have a lot of length, so
and size, strength. Do you see the floor burn on Murray's left hand? It was pretty gnarly. I mean, yeah, it was pretty nasty. And at what point in the game did that happen?
That I don't know. I just seen it this morning.
I wonder if that affects him in Game 4.
It definitely could, but they'll probably just wrap it up and bandage it, and then with the adrenaline, like, he'll be fine. I think, like, it will hurt, but he probably will be guns ablaze and trying to score another 30 piece.
Oh yeah, so I seen a discussion on Facebook yesterday that I want to bring to your attention. It was, are we witnessing? Okay, so let me just give you a little pretense. At the time, Jokic was averaging 30, 10, and 10, 30, 14, and 10, or whatever in Game 2. And somebody says, if this guy continues a 30-point triple-double finals, is it the best finals ever performance? And then last night, the dude puts up 34, 20, and fucking 10, right? Right, 34, 21, and 10 with 2 blocks. Got to throw in the 2 blocks too. Are we witnessing the greatest NBA, like the greatest NBA Finals performance ever? Like, are we entering that territory, or am I just saying it because it's so fresh?
No, I mean definitely is for sure in the conversation. I would say it kind of reminds me of the that one Tim Duncan series. That level of dominance. Yes, he has more. He obviously has more assists, Jokic, but there's also more possessions uh, than
Your audio is
they
cut out.
had in those years.
What the Tim Duncan versus
Um,
the Net series?
yeah, the
When
one
you
where he was
consider
hitting
that combo,
24, 17, and 5. But I
Josh
don't.
is
Jokic
saying,
is first. No matter what he does, and I think in the public media, it will always. Like people will always give him won't give him his flowers until he does wins like 3 championships. People will say, "Oh, it's the fluke," just because I don't know. People don't like him for some reason.
yeah, like it sucks because we used to have this conversation like, you're an all-time great until you win a championship, and then it's like we watched a guy like it's funny like all my conversations seem to stem back to LeBron, but you have a guy that's like hyped up like LeBron, and he accomplishes so much that it kind of like sorry about that. It kind of like normalizes greatness to an extent, and then you see like Steph Curry, and then he rolls and wins 4 titles, and then it's kind of like you got this guy Jokic. He was a second round draft pick. He doesn't look like he should play basketball. He looks like he should be like, you know, putting bricks up on a pyramid, and he's slow and he doesn't look athletic. But when you like physically look at this guy's build, he's actually in incredible shape for his size. And he for being bigger and slower, he's still his mobility is there. Like when people say like, "Oh, he's not that athletic," like you're lucky he's not that athletic because then your team would never win a championship. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
yeah,
and
because they
and
yeah.
and you say like, oh, he might have to win 3 championships for people to really, consider him one of the greats or whatever. And it's like it used to be one, and now you already see this narrative being drawn up. Like Josh just mentioned it, but I know he's not spinning this narrative. Like, oh, Miami's the 8 seed. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. You can only play who's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah,
ain't his fault that the Bucks lost and the
I've
Sixers and the
actually
Celtics.
I heard people try to say this is the easiest road anyone's ever had to win a championship, and it's
Like,
not.
okay, like it's not their, but it's not even. Like, is it their fault they've been the 1 seed all year? Like, I think that like, is it their fault that they've had the best record and they're finally healthy? Where like, if they were healthy the last 2 years, they might have been in the same position. You know what I'm saying? Like there's circumstances in every NBA season. In every championship, there's a circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be one guy getting too many technicals and getting suspended and missing a game, or a team doesn't get an offensive rebound and a teammate hits a 3-pointer to tie the game up and force overtime. Like, there's an upset in the playoffs where you don't get that dream matchup that we all asked for. Like, Denver just single handedly smashing everybody. Jokic and Murray are just they're doing their best Kobe and Shaq impression. 1-2 man, try and stop us. And that's what Mike Malone, like you going back to what we started with. That's what Mike Malone said. Like, we're just gonna have these two dudes play 1-2 game, and if you could stop them or if you can outscore them, and as efficient as they play, then you'll beat us. But if you're going to give up 66 points you're not beating Denver. You're not beating them.
Nope, not gonna beat them.
So with that being said, can Miami beat them in Game 4?
Yeah, I definitely think so. They're just gonna have to change a lot of things. Um, Definitely gonna have to. I think they need to get up early. They need to come out the gate and get themselves a lead, get the crowd behind it. You can't like. I know I can't doubt them, but like the Nuggets are too good. Yes, the Miami Heat have come back from double digits all these playoffs, but if they can't get down in this game. And I think I just think it's going to be a close game. I really don't have feel too good either way. Like I would lean Nuggets, but I think we're going to see game 4 that's going to come down to the final 3 minutes, and whoever can make the most shots will win the game.
It's a must win for Miami, though, right? Like you have to consider it that now.
Yes, 100% must win
to have any chance of competing for pushing it. It's most likely over in 5 if they don't win this game. I honestly feel that. So yeah, I would say absolutely must win for the Miami Heat. Michael Porter struggled in Game 3 also. I wanted to ask you about that. Is it? Here's a guy I thought was going to have a big series, because I thought the matchup wise he was going to be able to get his shots. He struggled. He shot 1 for 7 in the game, and he's kind of faded a little bit this series. And I really, like I said, I expected a big series from him. You expect him. I mean, and his minutes went down to 21 minutes. Do you expect his minutes to stay in that 20 range, or unless he gets hot? Like if he gets hot early, Malone's going to stay with him. But
yeah. Unless he plays within the offense, like he just multiple times yesterday, Aaron Gordon would say, "Get to the other corner," and he wouldn't listen. Like then they would have guys bunched up, but it didn't matter because both times that I seen this happen, Murray just took it in and scored anyway. Like it didn't matter that there was lack of spacing and whatnot. But yeah, he's really in his head right now. Like they said he was upset after Game 3 because of how he played, and Aaron Gordon was trying to hype him up and stuff. But like I I get wanting to play better, but you're up 2-1. I want to see you get ready for Game 4.
I definitely want to see him. I definitely want to see him come out and right the ship a little bit in Game 4. I think it'll speak a lot about his character as a player. He gets shit. He gets a lot of shit. I think people forget how young he is and the injuries he's come back from, and he's trying, like you said, he has to get his footing within the offense. And I think that Game 4, if he comes out and has a good game, I think it'll really put. And if Denver wins, I think the Nuggets fans will start to. They got to back this guy a little bit more. I think they're like his contract. People just look at his contract and he ain't worth that. And it's like, well, it's based off of potential. And I think as we keep watching this guy grow as a player, games like this, Game 4, coming off of a bad game, losing some minutes in the NBA Finals, it's like a wake up call, kind of like a heat check, so to say. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Denver's up 2-1. Imagine if Porter gets back to himself and drops 17. Then it's over, right? If Jokic and Murray just played how they've been playing throughout the playoffs, and you can get 17, 18 from Porter, I think Miami's in big trouble, right?
Yeah, I mean the starting lineup had like 20 some points or something, other than Jokic and Murray. Like KCP, I think, had 2.
He had 6. Porter had 2.
11. Yeah, so they had 19 points. So, like, if they get a boot, like, if one of those guys, go off, like, Miami's not going to be able to score enough points, I don't think, even if they're shooting the 3 at a high clip. Denver's offense is just too damn good.
Exactly. So, gonna move on to the next topic. Tomorrow night's Game 4. I know it's only 1 day rest. because they don't have to travel. So we'll come back on maybe in a couple days and talk about some more off season stuff. But one of the news broke, and I wanted to run it by you. CP3 gets waived by the Phoenix Suns. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to be a member of the Phoenix Suns, but I want you. I know you're a big salary cap guy and all that. What's the ramifications of this in terms of him being waived? I know there's a lot of different options they can do. Does he got waived because he had I think it was a $10 million wave clause, right?
So 15.8 million goes into dead cap. So the idea behind it is if they can waive him, and then bring him back for it's like another 12 million or something. There's a way where like they can get a mid player exception, so they can bring someone in around like a $12 million contract. But with the new CBA that currently you can't like go over certain taxes. So like that's why Golden State doesn't really like this new CBA, to where like right now, if they don't cut CP3, they literally like can't do anything without moving Shamit or moving Aiton's contract. Like they're just they could only sign.
They're capped.
Yeah, they'd be capped out. So the idea behind this Chris Paul is hope maybe he gets through waivers and we bring him back. They're also like they don't have to waive him yet, so they will entertain trades too. So like that's potential. I'm hearing they looking at maybe a sign and trade with Kyrie, possibly James Harden. They have I don't know what the Suns are.
I don't like any of them. I don't like any of them.
Exactly, but they have multiple plans this summer. It's not plan A. They have a plan A, B, C, and D.
I have a dark horse landing spot for them, and I'm really curious. I almost sent you this today in the chat, and I said hard to see where CP3 fits elsewhere. Now, Josh, I got one for you. Tony, I've been waiting all day to tell you this. How about New Orleans?
Okay, go back to where he had some success. He brought New Orleans would be a good spot.
They need a point guard. I even think with how Zion is, like we don't know what to expect with them in the future. The Pelicans have a very good team. I'm a huge Pelicans guy. I love their roster. With Brandon Ingram going to FIBA, I expect him to get better and better. I really think the benefit of CP3 with Zion and Brandon Ingram and Trey Murphy, all them young guys. Like, yes, Valanciunas is a veteran and CJ McCollum, but like CP3 is a very good locker room guy. And I just feel like I don't know. That feels good, doesn't it?
It does, and
or am I just trying to write a storyline here?
No, you're right. You're definitely so right. And like Zion needs to get focused and get back on the court. Like he needs that type of vet. Like CJ's, head of the players union, and he took over for CP3 or whatever. But he doesn't have like CP3. He has a respect level with the young guys. They all grew up watching him. I really like that fit. I really was not thinking that on my team that I was thinking about. It's more of a long shot, but I was saying San Antonio Spurs. You have them come in. They need a point guard position. He will know how to pass Wembanyama the ball in certain spots.
Yeah, get him in spots.
Mentorship, 1-2 seasons. By year 3, Spurs are definitely going to be competing for a title along those lines. So
I
I
also
would
thought
go with that.
Detroit is if a contending team really didn't want him, another team I thought of was Detroit because of Monty Williams and because of where the Pistons roster is as in comparison to where the Phoenix Suns roster was when they brought CP3 in. So that was like a long shot, but like when I thought of New Orleans today, I do like the Spurs too. That would be a very good fit. Plus, I think CP3 and Coach Pop would be a very fun, like they would be fun to bounce off. It would be a very well coached team, especially a team full of young guys. So the Spurs is another. What's their odds to get them? I seen that they had odds for
Yeah,
CP3's
so
next
that's
team.
what I'm trying to look up because the DraftKings had Spurs 10-1. Now I'm looking at Bet Online and it's 20-1 for the Spurs, but they actually Pelicans are 6 at 7-1.
Really?
Yes,
Wow, that's
on
crazy. I moved the
Bet.
line that fast. They must be watching the show.
So yeah, you're on to
That's
something with that one.
So yeah, so it definitely I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns salaries. They have 7 guys under contract, and well, if they waive Chris Paul, it'll be 6. But they're really capped in what they can do. I know we've seen DeAndre Ayton being floated in trade rumors, and it's almost to the point where if they don't think KD, Booker, and Ayton can win together as like a three man combo, they have no choice really but to trade Ayton and try to bring back a 2-for-1. Like maybe Atlanta might be in the mix, or obviously Indiana. We talked about on our podcast the other day. We did a undrafted hoops off-season block party on Indiana Pacers, and we mentioned DeAndre Ayton going there. Like, is this CP3 being waived? Is this like a precursor to Phoenix is going to mix it up? They're going to shake it up.
Absolutely, they're absolutely all in asset. Like they're gonna do whatever it takes to improve their roster. Try to plug holes the way they can. I mean, I'm all about I'm trading Ayton and even picks if I have to bring in Miles Turner because he is, I believe, like $15 million cheaper. So then you can also
Yep.
sign somebody. That's where
Can
I
they
would
get
look.
Buddy Hield? Can they get Hield and Turner for Ayton?
See, I don't know if they could probably. I don't know if the Pacers would ever do it, but they could do a type of Pacers have enough salary they could eat Chris Paul and Ayton in some type of deal like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Suns picks are not going to be great. They're late in the 20s, and even if you do some pick swaps for years to come, like it probably not enough, but
What's the deadline on the CP3? Is it like June 25th? I seen or 28th?
yeah, it
It
was
has to
something
be
like
before.
it's
No, go
something
ahead, Tom.
like 3 weeks at least from yesterday I was looking at. So I don't know the
Okay.
exact date, but around that.
Well, I mean, look. So we're going to spin this into. I just mentioned it. Here at Undrafted Hoops, me and Tony and whoever else decides to come on with us. We got a couple great guests. Coach Cam, my man Wizard Gary. We got to get Josh back on the screen, bro. I don't think you've been on a screen with Josh before, have you?
No, I've not.
Yeah, we'll
Not
get Josh
even
on.
since the relaunch. No, no
Okay.
way.
Oh yeah, Josh is in the comment section. So what me and Tony decided we're gonna do, we want you to know what we think of all 30 teams, whether it be now, whether it be before the draft, free agency through the summer. We're gonna call it the off-season block party. We've already started it. We jumped off with the Rockets and the Pacers. If you're interested in what we have to say, we have two great podcasts on our YouTube channel where we talk about what we think that they might look to do pre-draft and possibly post-draft. And we're going to cover six other teams before the draft. And the reason that being is we picked 8 teams that we think are going to be directly impacted through the draft, whether they have multiple picks or top 5 picks. They're all franchise difference makers. We're going to cover the Portland Trailblazers next. Very exciting buzz about their all season, Tony, right? I mean, you even said to me before the show that you think Lillard's possibly going to be on a new team. Are you leaning towards that as we get closer?
Yeah, I think that especially if Brandon Miller is going at 2, I think Portland really likes Scoot, and they're just like, if we can get him and with Sharp, that's a heck of a rebuild because like trading the number 3 pick and you still have Nurkic, like it's probably not enough to win, so you can't.
Nah.
And they said they're not trading Sharp no matter what. So it sounds to me, you got to move Dame and just try to get as max as possible. I mean, last year you saw how much the buyers were paying for Donovan Mitchell, Gobert, and Dame he still has at least a few more good seasons, and it's going to be a bidding war. So
you think a lot of it has to do with the Hornets taking Brandon Miller if they decide to do that. If they know sooner than later that they're going to take him, do you think Lillard gets moved pre-draft because they're probably going to want another draft pick or 2 in this draft, right?
I think they'll wait because on draft day, like you're never going to get the maximal, like to where like they'll really play it up till after the draft. It will be on ESPN. There'll be agents leaking. This side will be leaking rumors, and then they're trying to get everyone on the phone, and then get someone to cave like 4 first rounders, such and such for Damian.
Kind of a build up. Yeah, I hear that. So that's the next team we're going to cover. We probably could go right into it if we really wanted to, but we're not going to do that. We're pushing that 35-minute mark. We're going to cover the Charlotte Hornets. Like you just mentioned, they got the number 2 pick. There's a lot of buzz swarming between if they're going to go Scoot or Brandon Miller, and I don't think it's anybody but either one of those guys. We also got the San Antonio Spurs, another team we got to touch on. Do they have more than 1 pick in the first round, or is it Victor, all in Victor, and nobody else?
No, I think they have one later in like the 20s. Let me trying to see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, another team.
No, they have the 33rd and the 44th.
Okay. Well, 33rd's right on that cusp of, outside of the box first.
But it's essentially, yeah. And you could always, maybe potentially trade their 33 and 44 and move up to the late first round if you want. They have the cap, so
if there's somebody that they really like.
Yep.
We're also going to touch on the Detroit Pistons, a team I'm big on. I'm really excited about Cade Cunningham's return. I'm excited about them bringing Monty in, even though Coach Cam isn't, and I can't wait to rub it in his face when Monty has success in Detroit. We're going to touch on the Orlando Magic. Not only am I excited for their actual roster, they actually have 2 draft picks again in the, I think, top 15. And I just feel like every year they're just taking 2 guys and 2 guys and 2 guys. And they're starting to really get exciting. I think Orlando's a team on the cusp of a breakout. And I'm very curious are they going to make a move and not keep adding young assets and maybe package 2 guys and 2 picks and try to get somebody. Let me ask you a question. Since we did mention Portland, is there any chance that Orlando can possibly get in on the lower sweepstakes? Just because like they have young assets and multiple picks, could you see them maybe just trying to go all in and try and get a guy like Lillard to pair with like Banchero and Wendell Carter, or is that just way? Am I just thinking like outside the box, and then there's another box, and now I'm standing on the other side of that one?
No, I mean you're definitely right because they were linked to Fred Van Fleet a lot last year, and then like all the rumors where they were going to offer him 30 some mil this offseason. It's cooled down. So like
They clearly need a point guard.
yeah, they definitely might package something up. I've seen that they may go. I think they have 6 and 11.
Yeah,
They potentially want to move up to 3. I don't think Portland does that because
because of the scoot.
yeah, just you got to pick your guy. And but the one thing I was going to say interesting with all the Brandon Miller talk going to Mike Schmidt, who used to work at ESPN, who now works for the Blazers, did a phenomenal job with the draft, and his buddy is one of the guys leaking Brandon Miller to the Hornets. So maybe there's a little showmanship, like trying to play it up to get them to convince. Because I have a feeling Portland's camp is all in on Mr. Henderson.
Yeah. I mean, it like you said, and it makes more of a sense in terms of fit for Charlotte and Portland. And that obviously it helps the buzz surrounding will Lillard be traded, and the NBA loves their all-season buzz. The last team we're coming up on the end. The last team we're going to cover pre-draft, and I asked you who you wanted to put into this slot, and you actually surprised me. You said the Utah Jazz. I know they have multiple picks in the first round. Why do you see them as a team that's is it just the multiple picks in the first round, or do you see some things from Utah that they can improve on in this draft?
Yeah, I just think that not many people were watching. Like, I watched a ton of League Pass games with the Jazz. I'm huge on Will Hardy. I think he's a genius. The dude was, for his rookie season, and out coaching guys on a nightly basis. Like, marketing though, he's coming. He's doing his military for Finland, then going straight in the FIBA. This dude is going to be definitely top 10 in the MVP voting next season, but I'm thinking maybe like top 6 possibly.
Wow.
I'm seeing that big of a leap for Mr. Marketing.
Is he playing in the FIBA, or is he can't because of the military?
No, he is. So he's just, he's getting that. He's in the military now, just getting in shape, and he's going to try to lead Finland again. They got 4th place, I believe, in the Euro Cups, which people had no idea. And that's when I was like, whoa, he found something here. And then that's what he said. He lacked confidence. But I am excited for the Jazz, and they can go.
I'm excited for Kessler's jump.
Oh, he's phenomenal, Walker.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the 8 teams we're going to cover. We might be able to squeeze in another 1 or 2 before the draft, but once the draft's over, we're just going to be kind of rapid firing. We're going to pick another 8 teams that we think are directly impacted before free agency, because the draft rolls on. It's like 2 weeks after the finals, and then free agency opens up like a week after the draft, and then it goes straight into summer league. So then it goes straight into FIBA. So we're just going to be ripping basketball podcasts off and just giving you an insight on how we view the league. And because I don't know about you guys, me and Tony G love this shit, bro. Out of all the leagues, this is the one that I follow all year round. I mean, we could talk golf, we could talk boxing, we could talk football, but none of it as in depth as we talk NBA. And that's just, I mean, I talk basketball with you right before I'm sleeping. And then I text you in the morning about basketball. You know what I mean? We're just plucking off highlights and hot takes and opinions. And we're wrong a lot, but we are right a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, Tony, I'm going to wrap up the show. I appreciate you coming on. We're trying to put this thing together. So stick with us even through the slower nights, because the fire nights we're bringing the heat, bro.
Oh yeah, bringing it.
All right, brother. Yo, I'll see you a couple nights, right? Do Portland in like 2 or 3 nights.
Yep. See you then. I can't wait.
All right, brother.
I'm ready for that one. So I'm gonna leave
All right, brother. I look forward to it, and maybe we'll keep Cam or Gary on the hook. You know what I mean? If they decide to show up. That's it from me. Your boy JB at Undrafted Hoops. Do not forget, after this video, share it, like it, Facebook, like Undrafted Hoops, Twitter, Undrafted Hoops _, like, retweet, YouTube. Smash the subscribe button. Smash it. The subscribe button. Please. Please. But I appreciate you. And like I said, stick with us, because as we roll through this off-season block party and draft shows and free agency shows, NBA tip-off, FIBA, we're bringing the fire. So it's your boy JB, brick by brick, changing the narrative of basketball and NBA talk. Undrafted Hoops. Fuck the Boston Celtics.